Hello and welcome to this week's lesson on personification. So today we are going to be using personification as a literary element to improve writing skills and also added music to enhance this lesson. So first I'm going to start off by asking students to just list some random action verbs that they do every day. And then I'm also going to record these on the board, so I'll do that now. But maybe they would list out running, swimming, singing, and hiking. We'll throw that one in there. And I'm going to talk to them and say, okay, well, these are things that you specifically can do as a person. You can do all of these things. Then I'm going to have students look around the room and share objects that they see. And I'm going to record these right next to the action verb. So maybe they'll say coffee cup, pencil, window, and pen. And I would have probably more with the number of students I have, but I'll just stick with 4 for now. And then I'm going to match the objects to the action verbs. And obviously, to engage students, the sillier the better. So I'm going to say that the pencil swims, the coffee cup is singing, the window is hiking, and the pen is running. And I'm just going to match them like this on the board as a visual so students can see. And then I'm going to say, wait a minute. Can these objects actually complete these activities? And hopefully students would say no. So then I'm going to explain to students that this is a tool writers often use to describe objects and make them come to life, and it's called personification. And then I'm going to tell them that what they have to look forward to is a chance to write their own piece and use personification to describe the animals in Carnival of the Animals. So for my instructional procedure, I'm going to first start out by describing what personification even is. And I'm going to have an anchor chart prepared for students that I'll display on the board so we can kind of go through the steps and talk. So first they just have a basic definition, and it's basically human actions and qualities that you're giving to an object or an animal. So as we just did in our activity, we all know that coffee cups can't run, but humans can. And so that is an example of personification, to make the coffee cup come to life. And then I also have just an overview. It describes objects as if they were a person. So again, that's just another way to state the definition of personification so that maybe more students can understand. And then I'm going to give them an example. So instead of saying, oh, the sun is bright or the sun is shining, today I'm going to say that the sun is smiling. That gives the sun a lifelike characteristic and a positive attribute. So it makes the sun feel, more personable, more relatable. So then we're going to talk about why, which is also on this anchor chart. And like I said, it makes objects more vivid. It makes images more vivid. So when you're reading a text, instead of saying the sun is shining, if you say the sun is smiling, it makes it seem more interesting, more vivid. It creates a better picture of what the sun is doing. And it also communicates feeling. So it communicates that the author has a positive view of the sun and that it really is making an impact on their day. So after we talk for this, I'm going to check for understanding, discuss different ideas with my students, and make sure that they really understand what personification is and why it's important. Then after that, I'm going to pass out a copy to each student of April Rain Song, which is a poem by Langston Hughes. And this is one of my personal favorites, but it also fits well into the category of music because it is a song just about the appreciation of rain. And so I'm going to divide them into groups and have them highlight the poem where they find personification. So examples of that could be, let the rain kiss you. Kissing is, again, a human action. Let the rain sing you a lullaby. That's another example of personification. The rain plays. There are a lot of great examples in that poem that students would easily be able to find. And then after I give them about 3 to 5 minutes for group discussion, we're going to talk about how these examples made students feel. Did they give the students a good picture of, the type of rain that Langston Hughes was trying to describe? And through that, I want to lead students to understand that personification allows authors to give more expression, more detail, and more connection to the piece. I also want students to talk about if they can interpret his emotions about the rain. So how do they think he feels about the rain? Does he have a positive or a negative outlook on the rain? And very clearly this poem is an appreciation poem, so you can tell that he has a positive view of the rain. So then I'm going to tell students that it's now their turn to use these skills that we've talked about and create a writing piece that uses personification. So this is where we integrate the music. So we're kind of going to do a musical chairs writing activity and rearrange the room in a consecutive circle. Then I'm going to give each student a copy of a writing prompt that has the title at the top and the instructions. And I'm going to explain that as they listen to the music, they're going to begin writing from the viewpoint of either the instruments in the piece or the animals in the piece. So they're going to use personification to add detail, expression, and emotion to the instrument or animal they choose. Then I'm going to pause the music sporadically throughout the piece, and they're going to rotate clockwise once. They're going to read what their neighbor was writing and then continue writing from there. So it's going to be kind of a creative writing musical chairs process. So I will demonstrate that now. And again, this is using Camille Saint-Saëns' The Carnival of the Animals. So obviously this is the lion. They could write about either the lion or the instruments, piano, violin, wherever their creative writing takes them. For my piece, I chose to write about the lion. So I pause it, and then we're going to rotate our papers, and I'm going to pick up where this person left off. So this one says, "The lion laughs as it watches its friends. He dances around the prairie grass." So that's what this writer started out with. I'm going to keep listening and see if I can continue this from the viewpoint of other animals. And now we're transitioning into the chickens, so I'm going to take that spin off of it. So that piece made me feel like the chickens were very excited. They were excited about the coming spring. It was very upbeat, and so I wrote, "The chickens run and whisper to each other about the coming spring. They smile at their neighbors." So that is just an example of how this would go. Obviously, since the different students are contributing to other people's work, I would have them initial where they start and stop so I can accurately assess how each student is doing with personification. And overall, I just want to make this activity fun and relatable and enjoyable to students. I would close it by asking them how they felt as the author, being able to convey their emotions and their ideas about the animals or the instruments more vividly, more descriptively, and explain how that enhances writing, and it also enhances our experience as readers. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.